Well, I'm absolutely delighted to be here with Annie Chave, BBC commentator on the county circuit, editor of County Cricket Matters, and writing a weekly column in the cricket paper, which appears every week during the summer. Annie, thank you for sparing the time. I know you're up in Lancashire at the moment, about to watch the one-day match there. But thinking about, how did you enjoy the last Test match, the second Test at Nottingham?
I loved it, especially, well, I loved the beginning bit of it. I loved the fight back from the West Indies. That was just fantastic. That wonderful partnership. It was just glorious. And then I quite liked the fight back from England as well. I think they played really well. But it was so disappointing, the last innings. Luckily for me, I was watching another game and I wasn't party to it, but I came home and was really disappointed by the result because it had everything set up, and it would have been wonderful to have left the series 1-1 and just make something of the last game.
Looking ahead to the third Test, Edgbaston. Excited about that?
Yeah, I'm always excited about Test cricket, whatever. I mean, and the West Indies have got something to prove, and they proved in their second game how much better they are when they've actually had a little bit of time to get used to the conditions as well.
Exactly.
There was some fantastic batting and some good bowling as well. Really good to see. So I would love them to really come back at England and get a positive result from the end of this series.
Yeah. As you say, complete lack of preparation before the Test wasn't their fault. England hadn't arranged any warm-up matches for them apart from one against England under-19 team. So it wasn't any preparation really. Yeah, they're going to get better as the series goes on. As we saw, they scored over 400 in the first innings,
which is a fantastic result. Really, really good.
So England batters that a lot of them are hitting form. Harry Brook, Joe Root, not the skipper Ben Stokes yet. If I gave you a tenner to put on a high-scoring England batsman in the first innings, England batter, who would you go for?
I would go for Harry Brook, just because I think he has all the qualities of a really good Test player. He can hang around, he can score slowly, but he can also really destroy a team as well and penetrate the field a lot. Joe Root is magical player, but I never feel as confident when he's batting as I do Harry Brook. So and Stokes, wonderful player, but I do feel like he plays under pressure much better. I think he's a pressure player.
Yeah, he needs the odds against him to really go for it. Yeah, when you've got runs on the ball, when Ben Stokes comes in, he's got nothing to really add. I think that's true. So I'm not going to go for him. But what about the openers, Zach Crawley and Ben Duckett? Duckett's looked the better of the two so far, but Zach Crawley, would you stop it? I mean, I wouldn't discourage anyone from thinking about him. Do you think he's going to come good in this Test?
He usually has a good Test, doesn't he, or a good score. I think he's a really nice player to watch, and he can really score fast when he gets going. I just don't know. He's not. It wouldn't be the first person I would put on. I'd go for Duckett more than I would go for Crawley, just because Duckett's a bit of a bulldog. He's a terrier. He'll just keep fighting, and I think they have a really good partnership now with the tall and the small. I think it really works. It's bizarre how hard that makes it for them.
For the bowling team, yeah. I'm looking at Jamie Smith. He got picked because of runs in county cricket, which must please you as the editor of County Cricket Matters. Great read. I really enjoy. I just love that publication because county cricket needs that sort of love and care. It's not being given it by the England Cricket Board, really. But that must please you. Jamie Smith coming out of county cricket and performing so well for England.
I mean, he's a real product of basketball. isn't he? You can see that in everything he does now. It's a real positive attitude that he's got, and that's partly from Surrey. They are a really positive team, and they've worked really well together, and he's worked really hard. He's got
yes. Sorry.
He's got something to prove, because he's not as good a keeper as Ben Stokes. Ben Foakes, sorry. Too many Bens and Foakes.
Let's pull the whole thing off.
He's not as good a keeper as Ben Foakes, but he isn't a bad keeper, but he's a real he's a real run scorer. So
talking of Surrey, the other player that Surrey have produced and developed and put straight into the Test arena, Gus Atkinson. What a debut he had! I mean, in the first Test. Do you think he's the one to watch in terms of the top wicket taker for England? Would you say Atkinson? I mean, we didn't miss Jimmy Anderson.
I don't know. I mean, we do. Of course, we'll always miss Jimmy Anderson.
Of course we missed him.
Atkinson, I mean, the conditions were really perfect for him in that first Test, and I'm not knocking anything. I was there. It was overcast. It was, it was a good time to bowl for him, and he's got that extra little bit of pace, and he used it really well. Whether he'll get lots more wickets, I don't know. We shall have to see. It's going to take some to get past that opening Test for him, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to go for Chris Woakes on his home ground. Warwickshire player, much underrated, but really successful in home conditions. I'm looking at Chris Woakes to be the leading wicket taker. Would you discourage me from that?
I think it's quite a good shout, actually. I saw him play a couple of weeks ago against Somerset, and it was only a second game of the season, and he was looking tired. He wasn't looking right at all. And since then, he's had a bit more time, obviously, with the Test match. And, he's had a bit of time to play, and he's getting better and better. And I think, like you say, he's good in home conditions, and especially, Edgbaston. So, it could be a good shout.
Do you think England will make any changes to the team?
I don't think they will.
No. Annie, it's a pleasure to speak to you. You're about to watch Lancashire against Durham. One of the most picturesque grounds in the country. The outground of, is it Sedberg School?
Yeah. Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. I've been down this afternoon to have a look, and they were all it's just the backdrop of the hills is absolutely stunning, and the church, and it is glorious. So I cannot wait. Yeah, and the weather's set fair, so it should be a good one.
And this is in the much neglected 50 over competition, now the Metro Bank 50 over competition. Now you're writing a column for the cricket paper, and you've come up with a very interesting suggestion as to what to do with that neglected 50 over tournament. Tell us your suggestion.
Yeah, so I just wondered, because they call the 50 over competition now the development competition, and I wonder what they're actually developing the players for, because it doesn't seem like people want the 50 over format. So I wonder if it would be better to use a red ball, because it's sunny anyway. You should be using a red ball in the daytime, and give it maybe 60 overs. I'm happy with 50 overs, but 60 overs maybe, even wear whites, give it a red ball, so that format, and also I think there should be unlimited overs, and
for bowlers,
a caveat that
unlimited overs for bowlers.
Yeah, for bowlers, a caveat that they should bowl 20 overs of spin, so that I think it would be a really interesting way of getting some red ball skills into these players, and that is a proper development. It makes sense to develop that side, and also we get to watch a bit of red ball cricket when there's bugger all red ball cricket around.
I love that idea. When I go to an all-day match starting at 11 o'clock, and the sight screens have got all blacked out, and they're playing with a white ball, makes no sense. It's a lovely summer's day. Play with a red ball, wear whites, I love that idea. Draw me back into watching the Metro Bank Cup, which is obviously taking.
So anyway, that's just a
It's taking place at the same time as the 100. How do you feel that's going?
What, being done at the same time as the 100?
Well, no. How do you feel about the 100?
It's got all the icing on the cake, hasn't it? It's got everything it needs. It's got loads of money poured into it. It's got loads of advertising, and they're trying to make it the best thing to sell. So consequently, it's trampled on the 50 over game. The format itself, I have no problem with. I'm not that bothered by either way, and I'm pleased that it's given a platform for women's game. You know, the counties will really slack at doing anything about the women's game, and this has given the women's game a bit of a boost, and that needed to happen. I think it possibly would have happened anyway, but I'm not 100% sure that it would.
Yeah, the women's game is really taking off. I mean, I see it all around the country. England have got some international assignments coming up, I think, in the women's game.
Yeah, I mean, I love international cricket, so I much prefer, you know, watching the women's international games. I haven't seen any of the women's 100, so, but I gather it's you know, it's good for the women, so that is a good thing.
County Cricket Matters. How do we get hold of a copy of County Cricket Matters?
Well, got a website, County Cricket Matters.
.com.
Yeah, and you can order them online. They're also available on Amazon, I think.
Every quarter, is it?
It's every quarter, yeah. So the next one's due out in September. And what it is it's basically just lots of articles about county cricket.
Great.
And some interviews. Yeah. It's
give
just
us one player. Give us one player that you've seen on the county circuit this year who's going to be representing England in the future. Who would it be? I bet they're from Somerset.
Oh, they probably will be, yeah. I just think James Drew has all the attributes. Sorry, I know.
James
it's very
Drew. No, but it's a good pick. James Drew. Tell us about him.
He's got all the attributes. He's a young, so he's only 19. He's a young lad who is a wicketkeeper batsman. But he's just got that ability to occupy the crease. He's got a really wise head on his shoulders, and he understands the game really well. And he's just last season he got 5 centuries for Somerset. He's only had 1 this season so far, but he just makes that crease his own. He's a really good.
Like musicians with the difficult. Yeah, it's like musicians with the difficult second album. His second season is more.
That's right.
Anyone else you'd like to pick from the ranks? Who would you like to see given a chance later in the summer?
Yeah, I mean, the guy in Durham who Ollie Robinson.
Yes,
I would have thought he, you know, it's all wicket keepers, isn't it? But
how many wicket keepers can he get into a team? But he's good with the bat. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's been fantastic on the county scene, so I really think he should be in the shout. But it's hard.
I'll give you a name to watch. I'll give you a name to watch. As you know, I'm back following Sussex now after a difficult 2 or 3 years where I was papering. James Coles comes from Oxfordshire, learns his cricket in Oxfordshire, a product of the partnership between Oxfordshire and Sussex, which is very innovative way of, you know, developing the funnel of players. Bowls very well, has in all formats, but his batting, number 5, you know, I think he's an exceptional player. James Coles would be my tip for the top. I thought it would be Tom Haynes, Sussex opener, but almost Coles has taken over from him. And just to give us a quick word on county scene, Surrey are probably like Manchester City of the county circuit.
They sure are. Yeah.
Are they guaranteed to win Division 1 of the county championship this year?
They've got to have a pretty bad run of games to not do so. they are 20 odd points ahead, I think. Somerset are second, and then very close Essex third. I can't see them not winning because they have such a long array of players, you know, a big array of players, and so I wouldn't be surprised if they did win again.
I think Sussex will win Division 2. Metro Bank,
so.
Yeah, Metro Bank 50 over. Who do you see winning that? Is it because it's kind of like development now, isn't it?
Yeah.
A lot of the main players will be playing in the 100. I think, do you have a pick for the?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, well,
would it be one of the teams? Would it be one of the teams that don't lose too many players?
Yeah, like Middlesex have only lost 3 or something, but they're just playing so badly this season. I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Gloucester does quite well. They've had a really good season. Yeah, it's really unpredictable. It's so hard to know because I'm not 100% sure who's lost which players, and I'll only sort of discover that. I mean, Keaton Jennings playing for Lancashire tomorrow, he's a really good player, obviously. So there's still some around that are playing the 50 over game. So we shall see. As I go around a bit more, I'll find out who is actually staying and not being taken away.
I'm going to go for a wild card, Northants, because they've got Prithvi Shaw, the Indian, prolific Indian batsman who was dropped because he's overweight. That won't matter that won't happen. That won't matter in Northampton. He can eat all the pies he wants there. No one's going to get on his back, particularly after he scored that double century in the tournament last year. Annie, just to end, why does county cricket matter? It's under attack from franchise cricket. It's under attack from even the governing body. What makes county cricket special for you?
Well, I mean, it is partly the history, and people will, history, but it's important. You know, we've grown up looking at what great players have done, and it really matters when you look around the walls and you see these players, and it matters to the players as well. You know, they want to be part of that. Yeah, but also, I mean, having done my magazine now for nearly 5 years, getting on 4.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. I've had so many people write to me and say how important it is to them and how important it is what I'm doing. Just so many people. It's been unbelievable. I really, really cannot exaggerate how many people it matters to. And that's the community, the camaraderie, you know, and community is massive. And I think we saw in...
Andy, can you imagine, say, football deciding to scrap all the football clubs and replacing them with teams like Northern Superchargers? And let's pick the best players from Tottenham and the best players from Arsenal and put them in the same team. That would get no one. Yeah. No one would turn up.
Oh yeah, they'd love that, wouldn't they?
They wouldn't love it at all.
Yeah. No, I mean, I do get that the 100 has brought in some new fans in terms of they have some ownership of this new format, and I kind of get that. I think it could have been done very differently, and I think you could have made them interested in the county games easily by vamping them up if that's what you had to do. But it hasn't happened, and so what they are is directly threatening these counties that just can't bring in the revenue now. And then, of course, you're creating another tier by selling off to the franchises the 8 teams that have it already. You're going to make them massively richer than the other ones, and that's a really, really dangerous and actually really fragile thing to do to a wonderful, a wonderful system that has lasted for so long through wars, and it just seems really, really sad. So yeah, it really matters to me.
Well, only one last thought. We've said goodbye to Jimmy Anderson. In this series, your thoughts on the career of Jimmy Anderson? What have we lost?
Well, he's always been around, hasn't he? Now, I mean, certainly when I've been watching cricket at my most, you know, where I've been focusing most on it. So, and just to watch him and the massive amount of wickets he's taken. And that's should not be underestimated, because for a fast bowler, that is huge. I was talking to Ryan Sidebottom about him the other day, and he was saying, you know, it's such hard work bowling fast. How can Jimmy have done this? You know, he just, yeah, it's unbelievable. So how did he stay fit all this time as well? He's unbelievable. And he will be sorely missed, because we won't have anyone like him ever again.
We'll never see, we'll never see his like again.
No.
Annie, thank you so much for joining us today. And County Cricket Matters. Our sponsors, Rhino Bet, would like to know who you're going to tip in this match. You know, it's 9-1 West Indies. Would you be, no, forget the odds. They're long outsiders. So would you be looking maybe at something like top wicket taker or top batsman? Any thoughts on your Rhino Bet tip?
What, for the West Indies side or for England?
For England in the either in the next in this last test. Who would you go for?
Well, we kind of touched on it, haven't we? So I reckon I do think Harry Brook will score the most. And I don't think you're far wrong about Woakes getting the most wickets either at his home ground. I'd like to see it being both being West Indian, but I just don't know whether they've had enough time. It should be a bloody 5-match series.
Of course, it should be a 5-test.
So yeah, but I just don't think they've had enough time to and they're inexperienced, some of them. So
Mikhail Louis had first outing looked very good, but he's only played 7 first-class matches. That's the season now in West Indies.
I mean, we were there, weren't we, in Barbados when Holder got his 200?
Yeah,
but he doesn't look like he's going to get anywhere near that.
No, he got 200 for Worcestershire playing for them earlier this season, so I would rule it out. And Josh De Silva is in good form, so he gets my selection. Coming in,
he looked good.
Number 7 after the damage has been done with the new ball. Annie, it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much. And
it's lovely to speak to you, David.
We'll be speaking to you again for the Sri Lanka series. Yeah. Yes. And Gorilla Cricket will be on. I'll be on duty in the next test together.
I'm not doing the next test because I'm away on a cricket tour. So, but yes.
You're on your tour of Oxfordshire?
No, this one's in Cornwall, but we will be on our tour in Oxfordshire. So
look forward to seeing you at that. Thanks very much, Annie.